Hi guys, thanks for tuning in and welcome back to my channel. My name is Subin and I am a huge fan of being creative. So I'm just taking you guys to my creative journey and hopefully you guys can enjoy my video. Now let's get to the main topic. Now if you watched my previous videos and if you didn't, please check out my other videos. You already know that one, I'm making most of my festival costumes that I'm attending in August, which is 3 days. And two, I already started making first day's costume, which is the Y2K themed hanbok inspired outfit. Now, in my last video, I already made the top, which is called chogori. And this week, we're gonna make everything else. I'm gonna make top and the skirt, so it is gonna be a little bit sewing heavy week, but please stay tuned to watch me make the rest of my outfit. So today we're going to the thrift store to see if I can find any cool bed sheets or any cool fabric to make a skirt out of it. So let's go thrift store with me. It's like kind of windy today, but the weather is amazing. We're going to the one at downtown because I'm not really up for traveling long time to get to thrift store today, but let's go. On the side note though, filming in public is so embarrassing. I don't know how people do that. So I just got back from the thrift store and I would say it was a moderate success. I got a couple of fabrics that I thought it would really go well in this project, and one other one that I'm gonna use it in the future project. So I'm just gonna show you right now. I spent around $11 today. I actually had like a little bit of points saved, so I was able to get $2 deducted. The first one is this pink fabric that I don't know if it's showing in the camera, but it has a really cute floral pattern to it. Yeah. And then the orange one that I thought it would go really well together. And then they do. uh, they're they're very similar weight and has a similar texture, so I think it will go pretty well. And then the next one is this silver see-through fabric that I'm gonna use it in the future project. So that's everything I got from the thrift store today. Tomorrow there's like a local studio sale going on, so I'm gonna go there tomorrow, which is really exciting. And then we're gonna work on our skirt and some accessories this week. So let's go. So there has been a little bit of a plan change. My original plan was to make a bubble skirt and then a top that goes with it to wear it underneath, but I started to think that it would be look better if it was a dress that covers the breast part, just to give it a more hanbok silhouette. So that's what I'm gonna do. I would need to kind of address the pattern for it, so it would be really interesting because I've never done this before. So let's go. One thing I want to mention here is that I kind of intentionally didn't put much curves into it because I wanted the final product to be quite flat. But if I were to make it more comfortable in the future, I would trying to accentuate the darts and curves because I noticed that a lot of curves, like 3D elements, are kind of losing in the sewing process. Right now, I started to make a mock up for the top part of the dress, and I drafted these patterns off of, my body. So let's see if these are okay. So I just finished sewing down the mock up, and I have a couple notes. The first one is that it is a little bit too big, so I will probably take off a couple inches from the back because I really like the fit of the front. Uh, the other one is that I was originally planned to make this whole thing into this pink fabric, but I really like the white on the body. So my plan now is to make this one separately and make it into corset, and then I will make a skirt with the waistband with a ribbon so that I would get this humble kind of a design onto it. So let's start making it. So from now on, I'm gonna start making a skirt, which would be the bubble hem skirt. I did a little bit of a math, and in order to fit my waist measurement, I would need to cut out 12 centimeter radius from the inner center, but I would also need to gather around the waist for it to be a bubble hem skirt. So I would add a 10 centimeter to it. It would be 23 centimeter. I'm gonna cut out from the middle. And then I want my skirt to be at least 30 centimeter long. But the problem is that this fabric is quite small. So I'm not sure I can get 30 centimeter out of it. My plan right now is to cut out the largest circle possible and then make a bubble hem. And if I feel like I need a more length on my skirt, I would add the orange fabric on the bottom as like gathered but non-bubble hem at the end. You'll see what I mean if I eventually decided to do that. It would give a more of a like humble element to it. So let's start making a bubble hem skirt, and I would need to cut out the fabric first. Let's do it. So this video is not a tutorial by any means because even though it looks like I'm doing it quite effortlessly, I'm not. But I wanted to explain how to make a bubble hem skirt real quick because it is really easy, and if you know how to use a sewing machine, you probably can make it as well. First thing you're gonna do is to cut out two pieces of fabric and make sure your outer layer fabric is enough because you have to cut out full circle skirt pattern that is gonna be 10 centimeter or 4 to 5 inches longer than your desired length. Now what you need to make sure when you're cutting the inner liner fabric is to cut it out at the exact measurement that you want your skirt to be at the end. I made a mistake while cutting the liner fabric, so the inside of my skirt looking a little bit rough still, but it is quite forgiving project, so just make sure that you cut your fabric with precaution and care. Once you cut out both fabrics, you're gonna start gathering the outer layer to be the exact same size of your lining so that you can attach them together. Today I'm gonna finish the skirt, and then tomorrow I need to go get some fabric for the top corset, and hopefully I can finish everything by the day after. Right, let's go. So I finished the skirt part and I made a waistband out of the scrap fabric. It's the same fabric with the skirt. And I'm gonna attach the waistband and then we're gonna add a long strap so that, I can wrap it around. Because I don't want to add any zippers or anything. Also, the adding of the strap would give like more of a hanbok vibe. So let's attach the waistband. So I finally finished making skirt. As you can see here, she's gorgeous. It is a rep style balloon skirt, bubble skirt, whatever you like to call it. I added a little bit of tulle as a stuffing inside to make it a little more puffier. And I might add a little more security hook in the back just to make it a little bit safer. You don't want to be stripped down in front of everyone. And the last thing I left in the costume is to finish the top. And I'm gonna make it a little bit corseted because I want it to be a little more snatched, right? And I'm planning to keep it as white color like this, just just so I think it gives more a hanbok vibe. Now tomorrow I'm gonna go get a fabric for the top, and then we're gonna make a top, and then we're done.
I've been looking for this flavor for 3 weeks.
So I'm gonna go get like 2 meters of cotton real quick so that we can start making the top. I just got back from the fabric store. I wanted to get 3 things. I got 2 things and I forgot to get 1 thing. So let's see. First of all, this is 100% cotton, just a plain old cotton fabric. I got 2 meter of them. It's really expensive. It is what it is, you know. And I also got this plastic boning for the top. I got 2 meter of them. That was cheap, but the fabric was really expensive. But once again, I am always getting more than what I need because I have an anxiety. So we're gonna start making a top for this costume and let's get to it. Thank you. So I went ahead and cut out all the pattern pieces. There are 4 of them each other because I need to make one each outer layer and inner layer, and then you know 2 pieces each in one layer so that it makes a full top. Now I gave them a 1.5 centimeter or 5/8 of an inch seam allowance because my bonings are 1 centimeter each. So let's get started with the sewing and let's just hope for the best. So I just finished the boning layer of the top. I obviously need to sew the one more thing of the same one, but I just wanted to talk about boning real quick. So, since it's not like a proper corset, it doesn't need to have the most structural support ever, but I still want it to be, stay there. So, I'm gonna sew in one boning channel for each seam, and then I'm gonna do 2 bonings in the middle seam so that it would have a nice, good support. I don't know what I've done, but the chunk of my pinky flesh is missing. What the fuck? Hey, not me sewing all the boning channels quite perfectly. Well, since I'm notoriously really bad at sewing the straight line, I am very pleased of the sewings in this thing. Well, what can I say? People learn and change. So next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sew a lining outer layer lining, whatever you're gonna call it. I'm gonna sew that one and then we're gonna start combining them. I might be making a little bias tape to cut the edge around. So we'll see. Let's go. When I was doing this process, I first sewed down all the boning channels and then attached the two pieces together. But I would recommend to not do that if you were gonna do it because it was really hard to align two pieces together when I already sewed down all the things. So please do what I say and not what I did. I put all the bonings inside and look at this. Hey, I don't know about you guys, but I think it looks pretty good for the first try. Um, right now the only thing left is to finish all the edges. I think I'm gonna make some bias tape. I'm not so sure at this moment. And then put on hardware, which is an eyelet on the, you know, at the end over here so that we can actually wear it. Now, let's go. My first corseted top project is finally finished, and I think it turned out pretty neat and clean. Well, I learned a lot about precision and sewing. I think in general, I've grown a lot as a sewist, and I haven't tried it on yet. I'm just gonna put like leftover ribbon to see how it fits. So I'll come back with the fit check and then final verdict. Thank you. This is how it turned out at the end. The final look. And what do we think? I personally think it turned out pretty cute, but let me know what you think in the comment section. Now, despite the fact that making all of these things that I've never made before was pretty hard, I think as a Korean, trying to incorporate hanbok elements and hanbok materials into my design was the most fun and challenging part of this whole project. Now, thank you so much for watching this week's video, and I can't wait to show you more me doing stuff. Thank you. Bye.